Natalie Maclean did not have a vote in the competition you may have participated in. It was called the Great Canadian Wine Match. When she was last on the show, she told us all about it, and then voting amped up. And it got very busy, and it really accelerated by the close. And you have determined the best wines in Canada. You've loved this process, though.
It was a great learning experience, but also it was very exciting. I never thought that online voting could be so interesting. But as people voted, the rankings would change. And so as we got close to the end of the finalist rounds, which was June 1st at midnight, I don't know why I set that kind of deadline, but anyway, people were just piling in, and the rankings kept changing. In the end, thousands of Canadians voted. The people spoke.
And as a wine writer, it can be solitary. Sometimes it's just you writing, you and a bottle of wine. It's
lonely.
It can be a lonely affair. So you had loads of friends for this process.
Virtual friends.
So let's talk about the winners, because you probably played a role. How many different options were there?
Well, we started the competition with 279 wines. So 279 wineries. Wineries make lots of different wines. So that was almost a complete representation.
And 79 wineries.
From across the country.
And let's just emphasize, and this was something I really enjoyed sort of hammering home when you were last on the program, when you buy a Canadian wine, how much money stays in the Canadian economy?
About $7 or $8 versus the foreign wine, 45 cents. So we're really supporting our economy, but these wines are just great. I mean, they're worth drinking.
So here we go. We're coast to coast. We have 2 from Nova Scotia, 2 from BC, and 2 from the Niagara region.
Niagara and Picton, Prince Edward County.
Prince Edward County got in there. Yay,
absolutely.
Good for us. Okay, starting with this, which is L'Acadie, which is from Nova Scotia.
Right, L'Acadie is a nice, crisp white wine from Domaine Grand Pre in Nova Scotia, and it won the seafood category. It's just a gorgeous, mouth-watering, palate-cleansing seafood kind of wine.
And so the exact grape, I missed that. I was focusing on making sure you got a good shot with turning the bottle.
L'Acadie is the name of the grape. Domaine Grand Pre is the name of the winery. So just like Riesling, Sauvignon Blanc, L'Acadie Blanc is native to Nova Scotia. Nova Scotia really excels at this dry white wine.
Now, I don't know if I should stay with the same province and move to the red, but Luckett also was lucky.
Yes, so we did surf and turf in Nova Scotia. We've got seafood. We've got the best beef wine here from Luckett Vineyards, Phone Box Red. And again, we've got native grapes to Nova Scotia, and people will think, oh, well, can that really work with beef? Yes, it can, because what's happening in Nova Scotia, in Ontario, BC, and all other regions is that they're learning what grapes work best in their region, and it's spectacular.
It's really very exciting, with sort of this whole new movement that's taking place in food and wine. So those are the East Coast choices, your choices. Let's move to
this would be Niagara. Le Clos Jourdain is a beautiful buttery Chardonnay. I think it is a perfect match for chicken, whether it's roast chicken or even grilled chicken. We put lots of recipes on the site when people were voting so that they could choose their wines. This, I think, is one of Canada's flagship wines, Le Clos Jourdain. They make just Chardonnay and Pinot Noir, that's it.
Well, see, now when you bring a wine like this to a dinner party, you have a story to tell. This wine was chosen, da-da-da-da-da.
Exactly.
Okay, Norman Hardy.
Norman Hardy, yes. And Picton, I must say, the wines from Prince Edward County came in very strong. The most strong overall, I would say, in this competition. They were in every category as finalists. There is a wine lover up there named Joe Hash, who is just, I think, a great champion for the region. So this Norm Hardy wine, Pinot Noir, gorgeous, was picked as the best pizza wine. And you might think, what, Pinot Noir and pizza, shabby chic? But it's beautiful because the acidity in the Pinot Noir and the cherry flavors go so well with tangy tomato sauce.
That's fantastic. See, I love the fact that you are offering the pairing suggestion, and that's why it was called the Great Canadian Wine Match.
Exactly.
What about Quail's Gate? Now that looks, is it a dessert wine?
It is. The last 2 are from BC, and both are dessert wines. So this is a late harvest. We're famous across the country for ice wines, but this is a late harvest wine, so it's not quite as sweet as an ice wine. And this won the cheese category. And it, when we think of traditional matches like Stilton and Port or Sauterne, which is a sweet wine from Bordeaux, this is kind of the equivalent to that. It goes with a very salty, pungent cheese because the sweetness, just the delicate sweetness in the wine goes with it.
It's fantastic to hear that it's delicate, because sometimes the dessert wines can be a bit cloying.
Heavier cloying. This is not that.
And this, the Black Sage.
Black Sage is a gem in the Canadian wine landscape. This is made in a port style. Of course, true ports or port as a trademark only comes from Portugal, but this is that style. And so it's a fortified wine with lots of fleshy black plums. It's sweet, it's dessert, and it won the dessert category. It would be killer with chocolate.
Better words never spoken. I want to thank you for that. And of course, all of these wines will be on our website. There's also a link to Natalie's website in case these are your choices to bring to a summer party. When we come back after the break, we're going to talk about that. Summer barbecues. Natalie's brought along another selection of wines, all of them under $20 price point. Fabulous for a Father's Day barbecue, or you're even suggesting Canada Day. We'll have that with Natalie Maclean when we come back.